Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Read Chinese Poetry podcast. I'm Zong-qi, the program host. In this podcast program, my colleagues and I aim to introduce cutting-edge scholarship on Chinese poetry to a broad general audience. We will present 52 episodes covering the major poetic genres developed over China's long history. Each episode features close reading of one or more of the best-known Chinese poems, with an aim to illuminate their literary greatness and cultural significance. For all the discussed poems, Chinese text, English translation, romanization, and brief notes are provided at our website, howtoreadchinesepoetry.com. By following the 52 episodes, listener will gain a bird's-eye view of the thematic, formal, and generic evolution of Chinese poetry from antiquity to the modern era. Instruct and delight is what we wish to accomplish in each talk. Without further ado, let's begin. Hello, everyone. Today, our guest host, Professor Lian, will present his second episode on long song lyrics, entitled Su Shi, Meditation on the Past. Let us welcome Professor Lian.
Su Shi wrote this song lyric when visiting an ancient site on the banks of the Yangtze River, presumed by many people to be the Red Cliff. Hundreds of years ago, it was here that a formidable fleet led by Cao Cao from the north was wiped out by Zhou Yu or Zhou Gongjin, the young commander of the army on the southern side of the river. The decisive battle stopped Cao Cao from advancing to the south and changed the course of history. The song lyric begins with alongside. Even those great heroic figures could not avoid being swept away by the ease-flowing Yangtze River. The theme of "You Be Soon, Where Are Those People Now?" is expressed through the poem's images. Compared with the awe-inspiring painting of nature in the first stanza, human existence appears ephemeral and human efforts insignificant. The rugged cliffs and angry waves of the great river are as real and as threatening as they appear immediately before the poet's eyes, while heroes of past ages have been reduced by time to insubstantial hearsay of 人道是, or it is said. They are nowhere to be seen. The conclusion of the first stanza has a ring of both irony and sentimentality. Where are those heroes who once competed with each other right here in this spot for the control of the mountains and the river? In the second stanza, in his spiritual wandering over the old kingdom, the poet sees General Zhou Yu. It is interesting to note that although Zhou Yu was a warrior beaming with valor, who made his enemies vanish in ash and smoke, he is depicted in the poem almost as a gentleman scholar, with a feather fan in hand and in silk headdress. The mention of his newlywed and legendarily beautiful wife reveals his youthful charm. His graceful composure in the face of an overwhelming enemy shows his mental and intellectual capability more than his military prowess. Many traditional commentators and modern scholars believe that the poet nostalgically projects himself, a scholar, into the image of Zhou Yu, the general. This reading makes sense when one considers that autobiographical reflection brought forth by a meditation on history is one of the important elements of the poetry of this type. Internal evidence from the song lyric itself, however, supports a different interpretation. The gentler, intellectual side of the image of the young general, in contrast with the image of nature depicted as rugged and angry in the first stanza, foregrounds the vulnerability of humankind. Human life is beautiful yet evanescent, created only to be swept away. Here, we have an interesting paradox. On the one hand, we have an ancient hero who has passed away a long time ago and yet appears so lively and youthful in front of us. And on the other hand, there is the poet himself, very living at the present moment, yet is rapidly decaying, old, with his head covered with white hair. The youthful hero from old times is juxtaposed with the white-haired poet of the present day, implying the poet's perplexity over the inscrutable and devastating power of time. Indeed, the almost perfect image of the young general is an illusion embedded in a distant time frame. As the poet tells us, in order to see his hero, he has to think far back into the past. Not unexpectedly, the poet ends his spiritual journey with a melancholy sigh that life is but a dream, and he would offer his cup to the moon over the river. In the original, the phrase corresponding to moon over the river can also be read as the moon's reflection in the river, symbolizing the illusoriness and intangibility of human existence. After reading this song lyric, readers might want to pick up another masterpiece of Su Shi's creation, inspired by his meditation on the Red Cliff, 赤壁赋, and marvel at the fascinating complexities of a sensitive soul.
I hope you enjoyed the talk. Let us relax and listen to a reading of the poem in Mandarin. I hope you enjoyed the talk. Let us relax and listen to a reading of the poem in Mandarin.
聂奴娇，赤壁怀古。大江东去，浪淘尽，千古风流人物，故垒西边。人道是三国周郎赤壁，乱石穿空，惊涛拍岸，卷起千堆雪。江山如画，一时多少豪杰。遥想公瑾当年，小乔出嫁了，雄姿英发，羽扇纶巾，谈笑间，樯橹灰飞烟灭。故国神游，多情应笑我，早生华发，人生如梦，一尊还酹江月。
To the tune, The Charm of Nianu, Meditation on the Past at Red Cliff. The great Yangtze runs east. Its waves have swept away heroes of past ages. Lying to the west of the old fort, it is said, is the Red Cliff, known because of Zhou Yu of the Three Kingdoms. Rugged stone walls pierce the sky. Angry waves beat the banks, churning up water like piles of frosty snow. The mountains and the river look like a painting. And how many heroes were once here? Thinking far back, I see Zhou Yu with little Chao as his new bride, beaming with valor. He has a feather fan in hand and is in silk headdress, and while chatting merrily, the powerful enemy vanishes in flying ash and smoke. My mind wandering over the old kingdom, I become so sentimental that one may well laugh at me. Too early have gray hairs crept onto my head. Life is like a dream. So let me offer this cup to the moon over the river.